paid for itself within a few months, and we could point to success very quickly. It was a tremendous win. It helped me look great in my career, my trajectory at ZoomIn, and validated the expense and the time that we invested in an external agency working on our behalf. When I started with SalesRoads, or started looking for a solution like SalesRoads, I had a two-person sales team. They were doing very little outbound, if any, and there's no systematic approach for any outbound motion, any outbound selling. So we needed to do a few things. I really was looking for a company that would help me hone the message, test the message that we thought was good in the market, and dial that in, sandpaper it, get it tighter, get it better, and finally actually deliver net new meetings. Because we were doing so little outbound, I didn't have any inbound meeting flow coming in from our website or from any kind of outbound calling. So we needed to drive top of funnel. So the combination of top of funnel gaps plus just not knowing what worked, was that I was brand new to this industry in the market, like what message was resonating. I thought I needed a company that would help me figure that out and do it quickly. I didn't have time to wait 4 or 5 months to make a few thousand calls. I wanted a company to do that in a matter of a month. Yeah, so the first thing we tackled with SalesRoads was taking a lot of different collateral that we had and what we believed would be messaging that we were both messaging we were using and messaging we thought would work, and they helped us distill into a very brief cold call script, which traditionally we just did not have. So that was step one, and they did a great job helping us understand the message, distill it, and then immediately start testing it with prospective buyers. They also generated a list of prospective contacts for us. We did have some contacts in Salesforce, but we did not have at that time any kind of contact tool like a ZoomInfo. And so they generated from their tools and their systems several thousand people that we can go after to try to get new meetings with. And so they set that up for us. After we got the names and got the message down, then they started calling right away and getting us feedback, because we would get recordings from the calls that they had. I was getting those calls weekly from their team, and I could listen to what was resonating, what wasn't resonating, what people responded to, and which different versions of the pitch were actually getting people to take calls. We definitely had calls being booked for us that previously we would not have gotten those calls. And the flow was also much more consistent. We were getting several calls a week booked. We didn't engage a huge SalesRoads team. It was a small team, but we immediately had calls in the calendar. And within 4 months, we had closed our first deal. And our sales cycle was about 3 to 6 months. So it paid for itself within a few months, and we could point to success very quickly. But we just never had really a regular call flow. And so my sales team, who was ready and able to sell ZoomIn, now actually had people to talk to who traditionally had never heard of us before. So we were tapping into an entirely new market. We landed a customer early on, within about 3.5 months of engaging SalesRoads, a company that was a perfect fit for our ICP, had never heard of us, was actually working with a competitor, had a year-long contract with that competitor, and SalesRoads got us in the door. After that, we were able to turn that customer into a 5-year deal. We initially signed a 2-year deal and a 5-year deal. They went from spending just over 6 figures to almost $500,000 per year. They became a huge advocate for ZoomIn, helped refer us to other customers. And for me personally in my career, I had just gotten to ZoomIn a few months earlier. So being able to show that we could go from a company that never heard of us, working with a competitive solution, which cost a fraction of what we charged, to converting to ZoomIn all within 3 or 4 months by using a partner, was a tremendous win. It helped me look great in my career, my trajectory at ZoomIn, and validated the expense and the time that we invested in an external agency working on our behalf.